I'm Carl Seguin, reporter for Telemarks, and I'll be serving as your host for today's event. Now please rise as I lead you through the flag salute. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please welcome your moderators for today's debate. Telemarks editors and reporters, Gustavo Lopez, editor-in-chief, Sebastian Echeverri, news editor, and Carla Enriquez, reporter.
Good morning from Cerritos College here in Norwalk, California. I'm Gustavo Lopez, your editor-in-chief for Cerritos College Telemarks, and I welcome you to the 4th Annual Student Trustee and Presidential Debate and Forum. We thank the Student Activities Office for its hospitality and co-hosting the event with us. You can follow the Telemarks at Telemarks and tweet your thoughts about the debate using the Twitter hashtag ACCDebate. And if you would like to submit a question for the forum following the debate, you can see your question and use the hashtag ACCForum. I have agreed to enforce the rules for the candidates by the AC Court to the best of my ability. The questions today have been developed from a range of topics that have been previously provided to all the candidates. However, the candidates have not been told what the specific questions are. The following rules will be applied for both the student trustee and presidential debates. For each question, there can only be a 1-minute response. After each candidate answers a question, each candidate will be allowed a one-minute rebuttal. The green sign is raised when your time to speak begins. A yellow sign will be raised when you have 30 seconds remaining, and a red sign will be raised when your time is up. Candidates may not direct questions to one another. There will be a 2-minute closing statements, but no opening statements. There is an audience here, and we ask the audience to remain silent throughout the debate. First on the panel, we have 3 student trustee candidates. First candidate to our left is Selena Castillo. Second candidate is Sana Khalid. And third candidate is Victor Villalobos. Telemarks editors have determined the question order of the questions in advance, and the candidates will address the moderator in order they were introduced. I would like to remind the candidates that you have 1 minute to answer the question, and you'll be allowed a one-minute rebuttal after the last candidate answers the question.
Good morning, everyone. The following questions are for the student trustee candidates. Question 1. How would you advocate student priorities in developing the budget? I'll repeat that. This is for the student trustee candidates. Question 1. How would you advocate student priorities in developing the budget?
As far as putting student priorities, I would work with the committees. We do, and student government have a budget committee that is formed every year. So with that, I would work alongside with this budget task force committee, and help along the year. I would know, speaking with students and working with students, what are their priorities on campus.
Hi, I would talk to each and every department and ask them what their priorities are for students. Every department wants student success, but they each want to go about that in a different way. And what we want to make sure is that there is clear communication between all the different departments. So what I would like to do is schedule a meeting with all the different departments, ask them what their priorities are, and get on the same page.
Me personally, I would continue doing what I'm doing, working with the Budget and Finance Commissioner of the school, also working with David L. Patel, the head accountant here, and setting up committees to really see what students need, what organizations need, and what do other clubs need on campus, and from there coming to a consensus and really allocating the budget evenly, fairly, and the way that promotes student success. Thank you.
Responses. Now, each candidate will have a 1-minute rebuttal time. We'll begin again, starting from Selena, then Sana, and then Victor. So our timer will raise the green when you have the green light to start your 1-minute rebuttal.
So again, speaking with students on a daily basis, working with them, working with different departments as well, working with student government, working with the committees, finding out what students need, what helps students their student success grow, and just working with the committee as well and being present, being there, being available to students and to the committees.
I've been very fortunate that as the Commissioner of Student Outreach, I've gotten a chance to meet with many different students and faculty and ask them what some of their issues are. And because of that, I have developed a platform that is targeting what their needs are. A lot of students are asking me what can they do to, what kind of services are available. One of the biggest issues is that the information is not being presented to them in a way that they can see it. Students are very busy with their lives, and what I'd like to do is make sure that we target and market these services in a way, because Cerritos College is absolutely amazing in what we offer students. So I want to be able to do, clearly market it to them in the way that they can see it best.
I agree with the whole part about some of the services here and the things we're entitled to as students aren't as marketed as we as students would like to see. So that's why I've been working closely with different clubs, different students on campus, and I've helped, as a student senator, I've helped write legislation and having them acquire funds to take on different things that them as a club would like to do, whether it be taking trips for educational purposes or just asking funds for certain things like resources to different books and stuff like that.
All right, thank you. Now, for the second question, same order, we continue the same. Question number 2. How would you voice student concerns to the board regarding safety?
I have attended several of the board meetings, and during public forum, that's where I would take the opportunity to speak to the board regarding student concerns on safety. I am currently on the hiring committee for the chief of police for the campus, and I am also assigned to go on a walk with our interim chief of police, Tom Gallivan, to take a walk on campus to locate areas at night where there might be issues of safety. This has been an issue that has been going on campus, and immediately I am available, and it's important to students, so I make myself available to inform myself and to meet with students. Also, as Commissioner of Interclub Council, I have constant communication with clubs and am aware of
Your
issues
minute
that
is
they
up.
have.
Thank you so much. On to the next person.
Every student and staff and employee has a right to feel safe on this campus. This issue is actually being addressed as we speak. We are very fortunate that our campus police is willing to work with student government leaders and give us the opportunity to make this a safe campus. I've also taken the responsibility of being the student representative for the district safety committee, where I, several faculty members, and the chief of police have met up to implement safety strategies. So this is being done as we speak. What I'd like to do is start seeing what strategies work, how students respond to them, and then go to the board and say, these are what our results are showing us, that students want us to fix these issues in regards to safety. Thank you.
Bringing concerns to the Board of Trustees, as the student trustee, I would have the power to be able to have these types of issues agendized, which means that it would have to be something that the Board of Trustees would have to speak about. At the same time, I would outreach, as I have done with the Social Equality Club, outreaching to different organizations and outreaching to night students about what on campus doesn't make you feel safe, and bringing that to the board. I would also go through student government and writing legislation to help support and stand for student safety on campus.
Thank you for your responses. Now we continue on to the rebuttal, starting again from left to right. And please start when the green sign is raised. Thank you.
Okay. So my experience this year will definitely help me for the next year as student trustee, because it is important to get the opinions of all clubs on campus, all students, and focus on everyone's issues with safety. I am also a nighttime student, so I understand and I communicate with lots of nighttime students with their struggles. And as student trustee, I would definitely have in I would definitely encourage students to come to the meetings and speak up of their concerns as well, so that it's coming from students as well as myself, which makes us work together as a team, and it will provide a better outcome.
As someone who is both a daytime and a nighttime student, I am very concerned over safety. And my position as the Commissioner of Student Outreach has allowed me to not only reach out to clubs, but to reach out to individuals as well, because the clubs only represent a small percentage of the school, but there's so many students, thousands of students, who are not being heard and their concerns aren't heard. So my idea is to go and come up with better strategies to reach out to them and work directly with professors who will work with us to make sure that their needs are met.
Things I would take on that I'm currently doing just as a student and as a senator. I'm a faculty senate liaison, which means I'm the only student that sits on the faculty senate. And with that, I'm currently working with a faculty member to help outreach and organize another sexual assault prevention and Title IX workshop. And I've also worked with other organizations like MEDCHA to promote their once again, safety on campus, and I've done outreach to night students, just as a student, to ask and about what their concerns are as night students and the safety on campus.
Thank you so much for your responses and your rebuttal times. Now we continue on to each candidate will have 2 minutes to offer a closing statement. The rules will be the same, green to go, and yellow paddle represents when there will be 30 seconds left. So we will start again with the same order we've been working with.
I want to start by thanking everyone for taking the opportunity to be here today and share with you guys a quote by Maya Angelou that says, "If you get, give. If you learn, teach." This quote best represents my goals as a leader and speaks of my inspiration to give back to this institution. And that is why I, Zulema Castillo, want to run to be your next student trustee. Currently, this campus is facing. Currently, the college is facing a time of transition and change as we are in search for a new president for our campus, along with other important issues going on. In these trying times, students need a student trustee that can relate and understands the struggle of being a full-time student, a nighttime student, a re-entry student, a parent, all while working at the same time. As your student trustee, I will collaborate with the Foundation's office in order to create scholarships with a generous portion of the funds allocated to me as trustee. I have already been in contact with Rachel Samarin and have acquired the proper documentations that I will turn in if elected, in order for them to take out funds every time funds are allocated to me to set aside to make scholarships for students both in the fall and in the spring. I know that I can uphold the responsibilities of being student trustee with immense leadership skills and innovative ideas that will benefit all students. The various roles I have obtained through student government, hiring committees, and clubs on campus has resulted in the absolute trust of fellow colleagues, administrators, staff, and peers, students across campus. I will be an unbiased student trustee that you can approach, communicate with, and who will stand up for student rights. I look forward to serving all students on campus and work with everyone on campus. Thank you for this opportunity.
Now we continue on to the next candidate, please.
So my name is Sana Khalid, and I am the candidate for student trustee. I am different from a lot of students here because I have my bachelor's degree. In fact, I received my bachelor's degree after transferring to UCLA from Cerritos College. I'm therefore a product of Cerritos College's success stories. But I'm the same as many of you because I understand the struggles of facing multiple responsibilities, such as school, family, friends, and work. Like many of you who will be applying to UCs and Cal States, I too will be applying for graduate school very soon. I'm in fact taking classes that will help me meet the prerequisites. And my goal is to eventually start a nonprofit business that brings education to underserved communities. That is why I'm very grateful for the opportunities that ASCC has provided me to allow me to help students directly. My current position as the Commissioner of Student Outreach has allowed me to engage with students and learn exactly about what their needs are, because students, when you ask them what they need, they will tell you, even if they're they're running the class or they're going through a difficult time, they will tell you what they need. So I know that as student trustee, I will make sure that student needs are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we continue
So-
on to Victor. You may begin.
Once again, my name is Victor Villalobos, and I'm in the running to be your student trustee for the next academic school year. Before I share about how I am committed to fulfilling that role, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a first-generation student. This is my second year here at Cerritos College. I'm majoring in accounting. I'm 25 years old and a single father of two. Now, what sets me aside to be your student trustee is, let me start by this quote that I found that's, going. So, be the change you wish to see in the world, by Gandhi. And I believe I have already done that as a student here and as an active member of the Social Equality Club, taking on different roles within that organization and helping to provide lower cost of textbooks to you as students. That's something we've done this year. Something else we've done is increase courses. And as my platform, I'm looking to increase courses for you guys. I'm looking to bring up the safety here on campus with student cadets and also distress buttons here on campus for all night students and for all students. And at the same time, I'd also like to increase student resources such as tutoring, library hours, and other resources that students need during day and night that they all need for student success. So overall, I'm here to enhance student success and student life here on campus. Thank you.
Thank you, student trustee candidates, for your time. I'll continue on to the moderator.
I'm sorry?
We'll continue on to the moderator. Thank you for your time.
That concludes the student trustee debate. On behalf of the ACC Student Activities Office and the candidates, I'd like to extend a special thank you to students at Cerritos College. Please stand by as the ACC presidential debate is coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the student trustee debate. Don't forget to go out and vote Wednesday, April 8th and Thursday, April 9th. There will be voting booths in the health science walkway, social science patio, and food court patio. Remember, you do not need a CCSA sticker or student ID to vote in the student trustee election. All you need is a valid California ID or driver's license. Now let's continue with the ASCC presidential debate. Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Holguin. I welcome you back as we continue with our coverage of the ACC presidential debate. We would like to remind the audience that the rules of the previous debate still apply for the following. Now let's welcome and introduce our candidates for the executive office of the ACC. First candidate to our left is Hope Garcia, and vice presidential running mate Athena Sanchez. Our second candidate is Eduardo De La Rosa, and vice president running mate Ivan Oyorga. Remember, that can only be a 1-minute response and a 1-minute rebuttal. A green sign is raised when your time to speak begins, a yellow sign will be raised when you have 30 seconds remaining, and a red sign will be raised when your time is up. Telemarks editors have determined the order of the questions in advance, and the candidates will address the moderator in the order that they were introduced.
These are the questions for the vice president candidates. How would you encourage healthy discussion in AACC Senate without the discussion getting out of hand?
As ASCC Vice President, parliamentary procedure is a big thing. Getting students to be familiar with parliamentary procedure will help facilitate discussion in Senate so that it doesn't become personal and it doesn't become, uncoordinated between them two. And with my leadership, I would be able to help facilitate healthy discussion so that students can get everything that they need done.
As Vice President, I would encourage healthy discussion by remaining unbiased to any situation or any discussion topic at hand. I think it's my job as a Vice President to facilitate and not to lead. I think it's a matter of the students at large and my job as a vice president is to organize and facilitate these discussions in the order that they were brought up to me and to the students.
You now have a 1-minute rebuttal time. Second question is, how do you plan to expand student involvement beyond students in AACC to students at large?
Student involvement comes from the student leaders. We have to get the student leaders to be involved with helping students to know what's going on. The number one complaint of students and faculty is they have no idea what's going on. So we need to increase the communication between these two with ASCC, and that would actually help students to know what's going on and be more involved on campus. The discussion that we have in Senate also helps with coordinating student success with the student leaders.
I think student involvement is a great topic to talk about right now. With my ventures with the Social Equality Club, I have done many outreaching in different classrooms in terms of the presidential elections and going to the presidential forums that we had on campus here, as well as campaigning for several of the trustees on campus, as well as my ventures out here with the theater department, involvement with students, not necessarily with the students who are here, but the students who will become students in the future. With touring with groups like the generic improvisational peep show, we would go to several high schools and encourage students to come to Cerritos College and enroll here. Student involvement and student engagement kind of go hand in hand, and I feel like my job as a vice president is to talk to as many students as I can and get their input on important issues.
You have a 1-minute rebuttal time.
My name is Theta Sanchez, and currently I am your party whip for ASCC. And as party whip, I have been going to both cabinet and Senate meetings and facilitating all the information between them two. I'm already helping the ASC become more unified by communicating what's going on in each of these two settings. And with that, I feel like I am bringing together these two entities as a whole. And with that, we can actually coordinate student success better by becoming one whole entity instead of so many different groups on campus. The reason why student success is dwindling is because there's not enough communication between all of the groups on campus. So that is what I would do, is continue what I'm doing as party whip and put that into my skills as vice president.
I think making students aware of the resources that we have here on campus is very important, like the Health and Wellness Center, the objectives that we can learn through iFalcon, letting students know what iFalcon is. There's so many students that really don't know what iFalcon is. And it's our job as a student body to encourage senators and to encourage our constituencies to promote these resources. Like the upcoming care advocates that I'm working with Barrett Morris and Hillary Manella to get these programs up and running, and there's fundings that we can get from the student equity plan that we can fund these programs with that benefit students the most.
These following questions are for the presidential candidates. I remind the candidates that you have 1 minute per question and a 1 minute rebuttal. First question is, with the passing of the hydration stations, what are your plans for continued sustainability?
Being on the Go Green Task Force this past year, working with President Miles Aiello, we implemented the hydration stations, and we started with 5 because of how expensive it was to put them on campus. And we wanted to make sure that if becoming president for this campus, that we would continue this on every year. We would actually like to continue the implementation with the new buildings that would be faceted into the into the campus, so that we would create more as we move on into the future. So this was something that we actually talked about when we actually had Go Green, that we would actually implement more as the coming years would go on, so that it wouldn't actually be too cost effective for ASCC at the forefront. So as a group, we decided that we would actually implement 5 to start, and then every year we would readdress it with Senate so that it would help the situation as an overall.
Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo De La Rosa. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Cerritos College for taking an initiative, the initiative to reduce the amount of water that this campus is consuming. I know we were recognized last year for that, but I'd like to make sure that like Hope mentioned, that everything that we do include these hydration stations at our future buildings. Our campus is being built all around us. I'm actually an architecture major, and as an architecture major, we're taught to observe the way the campus circulates, the use of certain facilities, and the way that we use space overall. I think that's something that we should also. There's other areas that we need to start looking at also, like energy consumption, and ways that we can try and reduce that, along with other different sustainable methods that may be available to us, like alternative transportation, and the availability of that for students. So, thank you.
The following question is, what's your stance on having paid presidential positions?
This discussion has been gone on long enough as far as Senate is concerned and as far as student government is concerned. I spoke up about this in Senate as a student, not as a commissioner, and I will repeat exactly what I said in student government. I believe that the vice president and the president can be paid for this position, but I do not believe it should be out of ASCC funds. I believe it should come from district. I also believe that it is valuable that the student body president and the vice president do get paid because of the substantial amount of hours that we do play in part for being part of student government. However, I also believe that if you do this job, that if we don't get paid, that is still okay. Because we're doing this job because we're helping other students and we're here to work for you. We're doing this because we're doing this out of our time because we want to make a difference here at Cerritos College. So if I don't get paid, it doesn't matter. I'm doing this because I want to be here for Cerritos College and I want to be president of this college for a reason. Not because I need a paycheck, but because I believe that I need to do this because I'm trying to help the students.
At the end of the day, I look at this as an opportunity to serve the students. I'm a product of my community. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the scholarships and all the help that I've gotten from my peers. I've gone through some pretty hard difficulties that would, under any other circumstances, I wouldn't be here. I would have quit school and I would have probably walked away. Just when I thought that there was no hope, there was something that came along the way and helped me along. So this is an opportunity for me to serve you guys. This is an opportunity for me to give back to you, and really pay is not an issue for me right now. If that's something that needs to be brought up, I think we really need to look at the logistics and see where the money should be coming from, so that we look at the laws and make sure that we respect everything in place. Thank you.
Each candidate now has a 1-minute rebuttal.
A lot of schools pay their student trustees, they pay their presidents and they pay their vice presidents to sit in this position. And I know that Student Equity has helped with this idea this year and has paid our student body president and our vice president. And with that understanding, it may not have gone the way it should have for this year. However, we are looking diligently in finding another way to fix this for next year, which is a positive. And if you elect me as the student body president, I hope that we have come to terms with the Senate. We will work on a way to fix this and make a better idea so that we can come to terms to make sure that the money is allocated from the right sources.
I think the most important thing moving forward with this would be transparency. We have to be very clear of what we intend to do and where we intend to pull money from. I think that this is something that is very important. I think it would help promote equality in the sense that There may be students out there who don't have the financial means to be able to support themselves while being able to commit themselves to this kind of a position. It requires a lot of hours, it requires a lot of outreach, and it takes a lot out of you personally. I think that this would be a great opportunity for us to leave our mark and show others how to go about doing this. We have an opportunity to set an example to other campuses. Thank you.
Each candidate now has 2-minute closing statements.
First, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background about myself. My name is Hope Garcia. I'm 32 years old. I have 2 children, and I served 11 years in the military as military police. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal science, which means part of our platform is security and safety. Why is that a big important thing at this campus? Well, as everyone knows, for the past year, we've had a lot of issues on the campus in regards to security and safety. I believe that the biggest way to fix this is deterrence. Deterrence is the main key when it comes to security, and the way to fix that across this campus is letting people know and how to fix that is there's posters and there's signs and there's areas out here in front of this campus. We have that big sign that says Employee of the Month. This person, like for the Board of Trustees, is Employee of the Month. Well, another way to make sure that we can deter from having things happen is by putting out there on that sign saying bike theft down, less allocations, letting people know that we don't have theft, we don't have harassment issues going on, we don't have peeping toms in our bathrooms. Ways to show people that our security is better. You show individuals on campus that the deterrence is down, makes those people not come in here. It's a way to deter, and it's a way to actually help the individuals on campus and actually help with the security. Bike theft. We're working on a program with a security initiative this year to actually start a bike theft program. And we're actually going to continue that bike theft program through the next year. Whether or not I make president or not, I'm still going to continue the security initiative next year because I actually started the program. I believe in general that if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader, says John Quincy Adams. The big thing here is that I want to take what I learned at PASS and pass it on here at Cerritos the way I did when I was in the military and mentor individuals here at Cerritos College and let you know that this is the forefront of our campus and to bring results for other fellow students. I served my country and now it's my turn to serve. It's my turn to serve you.
The closing statements for the presidential candidates.
Hello, my name is Eduardo De La Rosa, and I'm actually an officer for Phi Theta Kappa currently. We're an international honor society here on campus. I'm an associate justice for the ASCC, and I've actually taken every opportunity that's been opened up to me. I came to this campus completely underestimating what I was going to experience. I thought I was going to come here, go to class, possibly fail, and go home. I ended up coming here, getting an A, and being inspired by others to pursue my dreams and to dream dreams that I hadn't thought of before. Growing up, most of my friends that I grew up with, they're either all dead in prison or they're on their way to one of those two ends. And looking back, I think back at how much talent there was in that group and what we lost in that group and what we're losing, really. I knew great athletes, speakers, musicians, artists, and all that went to waste. And I just want an opportunity to teach my children not to waste that. Maybe I can multiply myself by 6 and possibly more. I'm here to inspire you guys to show you guys that you can pursue your dreams. And even if I don't gain this position, I wouldn't really mind that because at the end of the day, I went after this position because I didn't want to leave here with any regrets. I feel I can do more and I want to do more. And if you give me the opportunity, I will do more. So if you give me a chance, I would really appreciate your vote, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
And with that, we come to the end of today's presidential debate. On behalf of the AC Student Activities at Cerritos College, Activities Office and candidates, I'd like to extend a special thank you to the students at Cerritos College. Please stay around for the open forum to ask the candidates your questions. If you would like to tweet us your question, please use the hashtag ACCForum.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the presidential debate. Don't forget to go out and vote Wednesday, April 8th and Thursday, April 9th in the voting booth that will be located in the Health Science Walkway, Social Science Patio, and Food Court Patio. Remember, you need a valid 2015 CCSA sticker to vote in the presidential elections. Please stay around to ask candidates during our open forum.
We ask that audience members who have questions come up to the moderators and ask questions to candidates directly. The same rules apply. Each candidate will have a minute to respond to the questions. Are there any questions from the audience?
I know that the red square indicates a membership of social equality, and I know that's a specific group of students, but how can we ensure, as students at Cerritos College, that your interest lies within the general welfare of the entire student population?
Thank you, Vice President Jill Nino, but your statement is false. The red square actually represents student solidarity. It started off in Quebec, Canada, Quebec, in 2004, when they tried to raise student prices in college up to 75%. So during those student movements, as a form of solidarity and as a form of peaceful protest, they wore red squares. So yes, the Social Equality Club does wear the red squares, but we wear it to signify student solidarity, equality, because we all want the same thing for each other. We all want to enhance student success, and we all want to enhance student life here on campus. Thank you.
I think that about 2-3 months ago in January, when we had the leadership conference and I was sitting down in a little campfire situation with a few people from social equality, I just sat there and I asked a question. And it was an open question to a few people from social equality about why is there such a big issue between social equality and the individuals in student government? Why is there such a bias? And it came back that there wasn't one. There was this big bias between student government and social equality, and there was this understanding that people did not know, they had no real reason that they felt that there was a separation between the two, and there's this brick wall separating individuals from understanding that one person or one group has an idea and can't come to terms with the idea is separate. Maybe somebody feels that student government is one way, and maybe somebody feels that...
Sorry, but your time is up.
Okay.
This square I'm wearing symbolizes unity between the students right now. I'm not wearing this to promote a special interest. I'm trying to promote solidarity between the students, because the students here need to know that they have somebody on their side. I'm here to show that I'm here for the students, because the students are the heart and the soul of Cerritos College.
I don't have my red square on today, but as a member of Social Equality Club, I do believe in equity, equality, and collective organization between all students and everyone that is looking for the enrichment of higher learning and making resources more accessible to all students, regardless of demographics or upbringing. The perceived friction or brick wall between groups and ASCC is all made up. It's all perception. But if we can work collectively and work together towards a consensus, that's where I feel students and student body government works at its best.
I actually have no problem communicating with anyone, I don't think. The fact that somebody wears something is not a deterrent for me to go up to them and speak to them. I think that everyone has their beliefs and everyone should be entitled to do and say and believe whatever it is that they want. It just brings more perspective to the table, and I value everyone who's up here offering their perspective, because I'm confident that everyone up here, whether no matter the outcome of this election, is still going to continue to serve this college. So I'm very fortunate to know everyone equally on campus. Thank you.
With all the different platforms that you guys want to present and the changes that you want to implement here on campus, how are you guys going to address the multitude of no's that you're going to confront and going to be faced with, from administration to future students to even your peers at Senate or AACC, government, cabinet, etc.? how are you guys going to make sure that those platforms that you guys are presenting to us today are actually going to become a fact, and that the status quo is not going to continue to be that one deterrent, the biggest deterrent of this campus for us to move into the 21st, 22nd century?
So, life is not fair, as I've been told, but there are ways, as we don't give up, to make compromises, both from students and from administrators. There's rules that administrators have to follow through by, not because they want to, but because their job entitles them to. As students, there's rules that we have to follow as well. That we have code of conducts, we have certain things we have to abide by. But there is a middle ground. And I believe that everybody who's here on campus wants the best for both parties, students and administrators. So I think that if we come together and we speak and we're open-minded, we will come to a consensus that is best for all of us. Change doesn't happen overnight, but it is a work in progress, and that work I've been doing here in student government for the past 2 years on a constant basis.
During my time as the Commissioner for Student Outreach, I've been fortunate to meet with students from all walks of life. And I talked to a single mother who had told me that she came from, an abused relationship. And one of the things that she felt was that she didn't find support on this campus, and she had opened up to me because she felt comfortable around me. And what I'd really like to do, that I see that every single candidate here, each and every one of us cares. We care about students, and we care about their successes and want them to live a good life. So what I would like to do is make sure that we get more of these students who care about others becoming successful in their own life endeavors, to help out and to be more active. So that way, when professors and other departments, they see that students are participating and they want to be successful, they will help out. And there was this quote that I once heard, that sometimes you don't always find the teacher when you need it, but you find it in the right time. Thank you.
I like to agree with Sulema that there needs to be a compromise. And as an active student here fighting for different rights for students, I've encountered no on multiple levels at multiple times, through faculty senate, through administration, through talking to the executive board, through talking to the board of trustees. And my answer to that is to continue rolling with the punches. There is a way around that no. There's a yes somewhere out there, and I've proven that there is that yes, and I work hard to get it. Thank you.
I'd just like to say that with our platforms, since December, we've already started trying to implement them. We've gone through and started getting statistics and info and talked to all of the people that we need to talk to in order to get the ball rolling, so to say. So when we do present it to the ASCC, court, cabinet, senate, we will be able to back up all of the things that we want to do with all the information. One thing that the hydration stations were not going to go through is because a senator brought up that we didn't have everything planned out. Well, as of right now, we're already getting our plan together so that it would be harder to dispute our platform.
I think with going back to the question about the no's, I think it comes down to three things: efficiency, determination, and consensus. I think it's up to us to work hard for the issues and the programs that students want at large and at best. And I think we should utilize tools that we have here on campus, like surveys and petitions, and circulate around students. So the phrase "for the students" isn't taken for granted. I think it's best if we go out and we outreach to students. We make sure that this is something that they want, get their signature and their ID number down. So this is for sure something that they're backing. Utilizing surveys and going and sending students emails to understand that, so we can communicate to the board that this is something that the student body at large wants and needs.
To piggyback on what my Vice President, Athena, is talking about, is She's stating that when we talk about plans and statistics, we've been working on this since December. So we've talked to faculty, we've talked to other students, and every part of our platform, we have looked up percentages, we've looked up statistics from other colleges on how we can actually improve Cerritos College to make this a better effort, whether it be from our mental health program, from our security programs. We've looked up information that I could utilize from my information from my bachelor's degree, from military information, from other colleges on how they failed and how they've actually progressed. And we've also looked up information in regards to our freshman orientation, which we were going to initiate this year, but we were going to look to implement it for 2016 so that actually we have a longer period of time to actually implement it for the further good for Cerritos College. So with all the statistics, we actually believe that we can actually perform all of our platform and actually get it completed and make sure that it actually will be in for success.
If I took no for an answer, I probably wouldn't be married and with so many children today. But and I think the important thing, like Ivan said, was everything that Ivan listed. But we also need to have a strong follow-up. I think if students come forward with a certain need and they want to address certain, and they have certain questions, we should have a timely response for them and make ourselves available. If we're going to be really available to our students, we really need to know what their perspective is, so that we can present their information in a way. We can present their information accordingly, in order for us to be able to make a responsible compromise and show that everyone's perspective has been taken into account. I have a background in sales, and actually, well, I didn't do sales for too much, but we were taught that every no leads to a yes. So I think that as long as we keep the lines of communication open, there's always room to be able to find a solution to every problem.
Sorry about your time.
Candy Garcia, you mentioned that there's community colleges that pay the president and vice president. Do you know what community college do so that we can start doing our research here at Cerritos?
One college, I believe, is Fullerton. There's other colleges, but the thing is that a lot of the other colleges that pay them would be the trustee that actually has the trustee and the president together. A lot of those colleges that actually pay them are the ones that are actually intertwined, where they have the trustee actually labeled with the president, so they pay them together. So those colleges are the ones that actually do pay for the both of them together, so they're actually an intertwined position. So this has been an actual estimate. I know that Dr. C has actually done some of the back work on this, where he's actually looked at where they have actually had pay for them in the process. So I know that this was looked into when they actually looked at paying Miles and Charles for these positions, that this was actually looked at before they actually even put in this implementation to have them paid for. So if you want more information, I'll actually have to get back to you on that.
All right, first I'm starting with the statement. Regardless if you guys get paid or not, let's not forget who elected you guys, the students. So you guys are here for the students. Second of all, this is a question to everybody. How do you guys handle constructive criticism?
Being involved in student government, attending many leadership conferences, I have learned that constructive criticism is always needed. Any kind of form of criticism, any kind of feedback. I've always asked, whenever I organize a lot of activities, Zombie Fest, Falcon Games. Every time when when the event is over, we ask for what could I have done better, what was good, what could I improve. Feedback is something that I always look for, and it's always, for me, it's positive, even if it's negative, because that means that I'm going to improve next time. So that's important to me. So I don't see any feedback as negative or positive. Thank you.
So one of my jobs as Commissioner of Student Outreach is that I'm the person that you go to when you have a criticism of the campus. And so what I do during our Falcon Booth days is that I talk to students and ask them what is it that they want to change. And I've been very open with them, and it's been a great experience, because I'm somebody that I'm always working to develop myself. I'm always going to workshops, going to conferences. I just came back from the PBL conference this past weekend, and I'm here to always improve myself and the campus. So I'm very open to listening to what students want to change. And one of the things that students want is that they wanted us to tell them more about the different resources. So what I'm doing right now is working with the different professors to get to let students know more about all the resources that are currently offered, such as math tutoring, mental health workshops, concentration workshops, so that way students can actually benefit from all the services available.
Sorry, my time is over.
I just want to say I love constructive criticism. Coming here to Cerritos College, working with different people from all walks of life, from different backgrounds, from students wanting different things for each other. I learned to work as a team, and I believe when as senator, as a member of the Student Equality Club, as a faculty Senate liaison, I've learned to work as a team, and I've learned to take that constructive criticism to work for a better tomorrow, and to work with those people that might not have the same views as I have, and take their critique and work from it. Thank you.
I think in general, constructive criticism can be used on a lot of different levels. I'm a graphic design major and a communication major, so do I like to hear constructive criticism all the time? I'd be lying to say if I said yes. That would be a complete lie, especially as an artist. We don't like to always hear the constructive criticism when we're painting or we're drawing. We don't want to have someone tell us that we need to change the way we draw or the way we paint. That would be the truth, but we do. Same thing with communications. I would honestly be lying if I want to say that I actually like to hear it. But in truth, you can't learn to change, or you can't learn to adapt in life and learn to do things differently, or learn to learn from wisdom if you don't change those things. So constructive criticism is a great thing to learn from and build on for yourself as a person, and it actually makes you a better person in the long run. And I believe constructive criticism is a way to adapt and to build on your own character.
So I'm just going to start with, my name's Athena, and I'm the goddess of wisdom, if anybody knows that. So constructive criticism is amazing because it makes me more wise as a person. There's always going to be in the pursuit of higher education, there's always going to be constructive criticism. It's inevitable. But I thrive, and I always ask for constructive criticism because I want to know different perspectives. I want to know that I have every, point of view in order to make myself more equipped to deal with issues. Because the more informed I am, the better decisions I will make.
I welcome it. I love construction criticism. I enjoy it. It makes me better. I think that it gives me room to improve. I probably wouldn't be the person I was if I didn't take didn't put such serious thought into people's criticism. I believe no system is perfect. Ideally, we should be improving upon our improvements. As great as this institution may be, then we should always be working to change and to change with the times and with the needs of the campus. Thank you.
I think being a DSPS student, it was very hard at first for me to take constructive criticism, but it wasn't until my ventures out here and the resources available at school, like the health center, and my ventures here in my higher education with the theater department, in taking notes from directors. And I guess I'd like to quote one of my favorite methodical acting teachers, where it says, the best actor is the best human, and in order for you to be the best human, you must be the best student. And in terms of being the best student, you learn the best off of that creative criticism and utilizing the wisdom of others to benefit yourself and to grow internally and to empower yourself with the resources here at hand at Cerritos College.
Gilbert Contreras, Dean of Student Services. I want to thank you all for your leadership. I want to thank Talon Marks for putting this event on with AACC, and student activity staff, thank you for all your hard work for this event. I have one question. One of the biggest challenges for community college students is reaching their goals in a timely manner. We know that if students start in community college, it's taken them about 8 years to get a bachelor's degree, which is a big challenge. At Cerritos College, we really like to push for student success. So given that context and that background, what can you do as a student leader to help Cerritos College Falcons reach their goals in a shorter amount of time?
So that topic is something that is near and dear to me because, and I took a step towards that when I was on the Student Equity Committee last summer, and I was on the committee that dealt with math and English, and we all know that as students here, we are scoring low in math and English, and that's typically what takes us longer, students, to graduate, is because they are behind in their math and English. I have also worked with a organization, Students for Education, for education, and we held college information at high schools, invited high schools to talk about college, preparing them for their assessment testing. I will work with the assessment also and help find a way to let students know how to prepare for these assessment testings, to prepare them for the test, and also advocating to students.
So I am currently in charge of the student initiative where we plan different events such as Spirit Day. And one of the things that we've talked about is implementing the new student orientation, where in the beginning of the year, students get to know all of the different resources that are available, what classes that they need, that counselors can talk to them and let them know what it is that they need to work on in order to move on and transfer or complete their AA degree. One issue that I've talked to one student is that she had enrolled in a Math 20 class when she was already eligible to take Math 140. That means that she had stayed here at Cerritos for 2 extra years, completing Math 40, Math 60, Math 80. And had she had known in time that she was able to just go ahead and do that Math 140 class, she would have been fine. But there was no one was accountable with her. And some might say, oh, she should have been responsible herself. But as a first generational college student, she had no idea what she was qualified to do. So as part of the student initiative.
Sorry about your time is over.
Thank you.
So I recently went on a Northern California college trip, and I talked to students who have transferred here from Cerritos to those UCs, and one thing they mentioned was that they weren't prepared for a 16-week semester. Going into, or 10-week, 16 or 10, one of them, going into transferring from Cerritos to over there. So that's something that I'm currently working on for the long run to help change Cerritos College to a 16-week semester so that students are more prepared and more prepared academically and mentally to transfer to UC systems. Thank you.
So with part of our platform, we talked about a freshman initiative, which would incorporate for fall of 2016. And what this would do is that all freshmen coming into Cerritos College would have to actually come in for an orientation day, which would last for a whole day, and they would meet with different counterparts like security, counseling, financial aid, transfer, PTK, student government, EOPS, and so on and so forth. So that they would actually have an overall outlook of the student government. We looked up information and statistics from Ted Lewis from Colorado Springs, and MD from 2011. Student success rate was 78% greater that took this class, and those freshmen that did attend for outreach from completing their classes and going on to further their education. With that 78%, that actually would help us here at Cerritos College with the retention rate and actually help us to continue to actually create and make sure that we actually obtain and regulate and actually keep our Cal Grant, which we are right now at risk of losing. So with that, we're looking at trying to keep and increase it.
To piggyback on what Hope was saying is the retention rate at this college is so low that we are at risk of losing our Cal Grant eligibility. That means 3,000 students would no longer be available to the students on this campus. The freshman initiative is to give students information, because the one thing that students don't know about is what is available to them on campus. It took me 1 year to figure out that I get free tutoring on this campus. I could have used that for an entire year and I didn't. But this shows that students need information. So that's what we're trying to push with the freshman initiative. We also want to implement at this freshman initiative is that ASCC leaders would be mentoring the students that come in. Before they even go to their first class, they have somebody to rely on and a network. Because most students come on campus feeling alone, just like I did. Because I'm a first generation college student. I had no idea what I was doing, and I needed a support group, and I didn't have that. But I still made it, and now I'm here.
I've actually been fortunate to work on a campaign last semester. It's the C4 campaign. And what it is a campaign aimed at trying to address the completion rate. According to the Chancellor's Office, on our scorecard, on our CCC scorecard, we currently have a 41% completion rate. That means that within 6 years, less than half of our 23,000 students are actually going to complete their goal. Now, this is a problem that we really need to address, and this is a campaign that I want to expand on. I really want to keep going, and I wanted to use it as a tool to show our faculty our solidarity and our numbers in how we and the fact that we want to address this issue. Thank you.
I think a big part of the retention rate is the access and the resources here allowed here on campus. And I think it's very important that we push forward initiatives like the Care Advocates and essentially peer counseling, that we can pair up new students with students who have been here, who understand the campus and understand the resources at hand, and kind of have a pathway, a middle person to talk to the administrators and talk to the staff here on campus that allow these resources to students. I think outreach is a big part of that. Going to different classrooms, improving our online initiation for first-time students, and being a well-rounded, I guess, camaraderie with all students.
Question number 1, what is your best quality? And question number 2, what is your weakest quality?
I would say my best quality is that I have passion. I have a lot of passion, and for everything that I commit myself to, I go all the way with everything. I do my best, and I'm very passionate and very committed and very resourceful. One of the bad qualities, I would have to say, probably that I want to do everything. everything that's available. That everyone who comes to me and says I want to accomplish this, I'll say yes, let's do it. And so I have multiple things going on. So, and that's just personally for me, for my life, because I commit to something, and I from the beginning to the end. So on a personal level, for my personal life, that affects my personal life. But yeah, thank you.
I would say that my best quality is that I care about people. I'm a very good listener, and I'm one of those people that people just randomly like telling me their secrets, because I'm very open, and I'm one of those non-judgmental people. Like, I've met people from all walks of life. So that's one of my good things. I guess the negative qualities is that I like also doing too many things. Just because, like at Cerritos College, there are opportunities to do so many things. But I've been focusing now on trying to get better at things that I'm already good at. Thank you.
I'd have to say my best quality is my mustache. No, I'm kidding. But my best quality would have to be my commitment and the integrity I have within that commitment to not only my personal relationships, my relationships with my friends, my relationships with work, but the relationships I have with the students here on campus. And my least favorite quality that I don't like would have to be I thought I knew it all. Coming in, I thought I knew it all. I thought I had all the answers. And once I got involved, I saw that other people had even better ideas than I did, and I learned to work with them and learned to produce results that would make an impacting difference on students here on campus.
Well, Athena seems to think that my best quality is I'm a great speaker. I think it depends on the circumstance of when I would say I'm a great speaker. If I'm talking about an emotional situation and I want to address people and let them know how I feel, I guess I would be a great speaker. I think that my best quality is I try my best to let people know that I'm not BS. I tell you guys the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to tell you the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't lie. I don't have anything up my sleeve. I'm not going to give you anything that's going to give you guys an understatement to what I believe in. I'm going to tell you the truth. My weakest quality, I don't quit. I sometimes know that there's an opportunity that maybe I need to fail at something and maybe I should step away from it, but I have a tendency that I think failure is probably what I don't believe in.
I'm sorry, but your time is over.
I think my best quality is that I'm an organizer. I know what I want to do, and I plan it out. I'm analytical, and I reflect before I speak or do something. If you know me, as Charles Kagua does, he knows that when I'm given a task, I put my whole heart and soul into it, and I do the best that I can whenever I'm given a task. I think my worst quality is that I am shy, and although I'm shy, I do have a presence about myself. I will always speak my mind, And that's exactly what I've done in all the hiring committees that I've been in. Michelle Llewellyn also can reflect on that. And I know that even though I'm shy, I'm in these hiring committees, I have a job to do. I have to speak for the students, and that's what I will do. I need to be their voice, and it pushes me to stop being shy.
I think my best quality is that I'm not intimidated by adversity. I've never been deterred by something that was hard or difficult to do. I think that if anything, something that's challenging, it only challenges me, only intrigues me more and makes me want to go after these things a little bit more. I think my worst quality is that I become a little too invested in wanting to help others sometimes. Sometimes I take this home with me. I see my wife over there nodding at me right now. But I take some of this home with me and I talk about it. I feel for some of the people's stories that I talk to. And I try to relate to them maybe a little bit too much. So that may be that might be my worst quality.
I would say my best quality would be my determination and my ability to remain objective in dire situations. I feel that sometimes I'm very biased when it comes to the law or to abiding by the student constitution or even my general morals and beliefs. But I do feel like I've been more open since I've been here at Cerritos College to understanding different walks of life. And I think my worst quality would be my individualism. Sometimes I tend to want to be by myself sometimes, but it's okay to be, take some time for yourself. But I think it kind of benefits me in my title because it doesn't force me to become a leader and more of a facilitator and oversee projects that the students want to be implemented.
Good afternoon, students. Alejandra Lopez, business accounting major. I know all of you. I've seen you from the beginning of the year. You guys are very involved, so I know you're very familiar with student government. Having said this, how would you rate our current student body administration?
In one word, I would say that every student that is in student government is very passionate about their cause and all want to accomplish what they feel is important. So sometimes there are deep conversations that go on and should not take as long as they should, but I know it's because students want to get their points across. But I feel that everyone in there is passionate and we're all there because we want what's best for students. So I would say that at the end, if everyone in student government takes something and grows from this year, then they did what they came to do. They've been successful. Everyone has been successful. If you walk away from here and you've grown, and then you've done your job. You've done your job and you've made this campus a better place. And that's all that we can do as students.
Time is up.
I also agree with Sulema that the students who are in ASCC are passionate about what they do. With so many different options for clubs, there's so many different clubs we could be in, like such as accounting or math club, but yet we all chose to be in ASCC, and that's because we are passionate about students. I do think that we need to improve our communication skills because there's sometimes that we are not all of us are on the same page. But what we need to do is make sure that we all share the same vision, that we all want to make sure that students are successful. And once we can do that, I know that we will be able to accomplish all of our goals. Thank you.
Now, was that administration or student government? Oh, student body government. I believe that, like Sana and Sulema, that communication is the key to success here. And if voted student trustee, I'd take that on. You know, though I work with the board, I'd be just as involved with Senate, with cabinet, with court, to make sure that there's a consensus among the body and that all voices are heard and that everyone's input is taken in consideration, so that way we come to an agreement and we come to an answer that would best impact and empower the student body.
Being part of student body this year, student body government has been an awesome experience. Working with President Miles Ayala, working with court, working with cabinet, working with Senate has been an unbelievable experience. Working with Dr. C. You cannot experience something like we have this past year, and the faults and the positives and the negatives. We've been a work of nature in itself. And with it, you learn from it. And with it, we'll learn from it for the following year. So we've had our ups and we've had our downs. So I'm not gonna say any good things or I'm not gonna say any bad things because I've learned a lot. And with that, I'm gonna take everything I have learned and hopefully take that into consideration for the next year. And if we do make president, take all the good and positive and the negative and use those to make a better incentive for the next year for student body president.
I was in Senate last year, and people who were in Senate last year know that Senate was a joke. It really was. Everybody voted yes. Now this year, it's so much better. There are healthy discussions going on in Senate, and we're actually talking about the issues that matter. And all the senators there are being more informed, and it's helping the students get the things that they need. And if I'm voted vice president, I want to piggyback on how we've accomplished all the things this year and make it better for next year. I know we can't get anything perfect, but I'm sure going to try to.
I think that Dina brought up an interesting point. I think that this particular year, our administrators may be learning from us. They may be learning from our culture and how much we care. We really do care about our community. I think that communication is key. We may not all have to agree, but we do have to communicate. We do have to present our information in a way that's clear. And we have to build an atmosphere that encourages people to speak their voice and to show their perspective. We all have a job here, and we all have a job to represent our campus properly. And if we do so responsibly, I think that we can move forward in a way that benefits everyone.
I think being vice president, this is an essential part of my job or task. Is creating a mutual understanding within all the constituencies of the student body. It is our obligation to represent the needs of the students that aren't necessarily here attending this, but the students that are passing behind us and not very involved in our community. It's our obligation to get the students that are outside of this campus to be more involved with what we do here. I think it's important to promote cohesiveness and more so represent the student body. That way administration understands the needs and issues that pertain to student life here on campus.
I'd like to thank all the candidates for braving the heat and also the audience members for coming up here and listening to their future leaders and for their questions. Thank you.